Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Country Club Classic presented by Dynamic Discs. We are here in Emporia at the Emporia Country Club. We got myself, Robert McCall, on the mic today. I'm joined by Anthony Heuvel.
What's up, Robert?
What up, what up? We are on to the back nine, and we've had a little bit of movement at the top. We've got Zackeriath Johnson making the front nine, and the front line. But
yes.
Also the front nine looked pretty easy there. He's sitting at 9 under par. He's taking a 2-shot lead over me at 7 under. Kyle Webster sitting in third at 4, and then Eric McCabe just not quite finding his putt today.
Yeah.
Hitting good lines, but not getting the lift or drop that he's wanting. He's sitting at 2 under par. Hole 10 is a par 4. The only out of bounds here is the cart path on the left and then the fairway up in front of the drone right now. So the tall stuff on the right is safe, but you don't want to be there.
You almost wish it would be OB so you don't have to get out of that.
It's pretty brutal. Any OB goes to the drop zone here, and the drop zone is not an easy shot. So play is just whatever you can throw inbounds right of the cart path.
For Zach, that is a huge sidearm.
Just a mash. Yeah, and that's beat the corner. Anything that beats the corner is really, really good here.
That's fun. Kyle says, anything you can do, I can do better. And
gosh, that is just, I can't even dream of having a forehand that good. That's so far. So I'm playing Explorer down the right side. Just something that'll hyzer into the middle, but not be high enough to get over the cart path.
I feel like it won't skip as much either.
No, yeah, nice and slow spinning. So got it to almost flat, and I'll take that result.
Just center cut every time.
Yep.
Leaves you a little bit more of an approach shot, but it doesn't take the OB into play.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy forehand, I think.
Eric a little bit left. Needs that to sit soft.
Little turn on his Explorer, but that just scoots out. So he'll have to go to the drop zone here.
And for the sidearm dominant player that he is, it's not an ideal drop zone, but he makes it work. That's that same Lucid X trespass.
That looked tight from our perspective, but that ended up in an okay spot. And I'm just putting an anvil out to the left, letting it trickle down to the right, and that's where I'd like to be.
Yep.
Inside 20.
Ideal placement.
And Zach and Kyle, these are basically formalities from where their drives landed. Just easy pitch-ups with their forehands. I do like, though, that Kyle still takes his time with it. I mean, he's pretty close to the basket, but just wants to ensure that he's going to be close. Maybe give it a little half run there.
That's a shot that he could make in his sleep. But because it's a tournament, because it matters, he's so close with Eric right now.
Yeah, might as well take your time. Yep. Eric found an unfortunate lie there and gets a push out on the right side. Little high. Just doesn't hang on, so that'll be a bogey for him, unfortunately.
Nice, easy three for you there. Just right how you draw it up.
Yep.
Nice and smooth off the tee. Nice and smooth on the approach. Easy putt.
That's what I like there. No fireworks. Just
nice and smooth.
Playing golf. Easy, simple golf.
Kyle getting familiar with the tree there.
Doing a little dancing to get in
Basically
there.
getting hugged by those two branches.
Yeah. Doing his best to not mess with the tree while he's putting, but the tree wanted some extra love.
Its best to mess with him. Taps in his unfortunate bogey there. And Zach with the drop in.
Yeah, when you can putt with the disc that you approached with, usually that's pretty good. So
that's what you want, yes.
Yeah, Zach just drops in. So he's going to maintain that one-stroke lead. Kyle sitting at 5 under, and Eric with the bogey will move to 1 under on the weekend. This little stretch here, 10, 11, 12, I think are some birdies that you really want to get if you're trying to put together a good round. So hole 11, par 3, 364. OB on the right side with the flags and then the left side with the fairway. The OB does pinch in near the basket on the right side. These guys are looking to throw probably a fairway driver or a mid-range, just something that turns just a bit or that they can turn just a bit that'll hold over to the right for them, but not dive right because of that OB.
No, it's a very... It's an awkwardly shaped hole. You step up to the tee and you're like, I could throw this maybe or that, but it's just, it's a really unique shape.
It is. Kind of a late turn is what I think the hole calls for here. So Zach, not quite enough turn on his shot, but still through the trees and inside. All right, pardon me, just outside the circle. Kyle with a smooth turn on this disc, just a bit short. but he's going to have a look from there.
That's a putt.
And I'm going Maverick here for the late turn. Just put a little bit of hyzer on it and let it move right on its own.
Come on,
Got
baby,
the
late
hyzer.
turn.
And that's
Moving
what
right.
I'm looking for.
Robert.
That is. You were excited about that one. I remember that.
I felt.
Clapping,
I think I
fist
gave myself a
bumping.
nice little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were happy with that one.
Yeah. Eric throwing the truth out there. A little bit high, and that's going to finish left, but he's past the trees, and anything out there is going to give you a look.
Yeah. Anything open and inbounds. Right around circle's edge, maybe a little bit out.
Yeah, a little bit outside the circle.
There we go.
Drops
Got
one
one.
in. Yeah, he's feeling good about that.
Hopefully he can build off that. Like you said, the next couple of holes are ones you want to attack. So hopefully he can build off that and get a nice string of birdies going here.
Yes, sir.
Kyle did have a little bit of an awkward stance next to that tree. Just chains out left.
Yeah, and this is just outside the circle for Zach.
Oh no!
And that is skipped off the top of the basket. Full flight OB to the right side. Now he doesn't even have an easy putt coming back for his four. That's a huge pickup for Zach. I mean, that was not an easy putt. That could have
No.
gone bad really quickly.
That was one of those just pure determination. I'm not missing this.
Yes.
I'm not going from a 2 to a 5.
That's right. So I'll take my 2, and now all of a sudden, Zach and I are tied up.
Yeah.
When Zach stepped on that putt, I counted it as in. He looked so confident standing over it, gave
Yeah.
it such a nice stab. But unfortunately, got that kind of right off the top of the basket, and now we're knotted back up at 9 under on the top.
Really clutch putt there on that comebacker, though. Eric does pick up one on Kyle, so he is bringing it back. Still 3 back, but moving into hole 12, par 3, 351 feet. Eric's going to have his eyes on attacking this one and building that birdie train. Keep it going. Just nice, easy hyzer. The cart path there on the left is out of bounds, as well as the golf green is out of bounds as well, right?
Yeah, and you say nice, easy hyzer. I think it's a pretty full shot just because you want to make sure that you're not ever testing that sidewalk. So I'm going to swing something out to the right and just let it move left. I'm having to throw that pretty hard to make sure I get there. I think the effective distance is closer to 380 or so.
Now, I know I said nice, easy hyzer, and you said it's not. But you make it look like a nice, easy
I
hyzer.
executed what I was trying to well.
Eric also making it look like a nice, easy hyzer.
Yeah. In practice, I threw a couple that were just a little too high and went out of bounds left, and that's the danger here.
Yeah. Kyle lining up that gladiator again. Just going to throw it out wide. Give it some hyzer. It's standing up a little bit.
But that's what you want. I mean, a little bit long is fine. A little bit left is not fine. And that's a great shot.
You guys are probably a combined 15 feet from the basket after 3 drives. Zach with the Lucid X Enforcer. Again, high and wide.
And nearly perfect. Yeah, that's a really good group of drives on this hole. Very few people are going to find that OB green on the right side. The real danger for us is that cart path on the left. But Zach starts us off well with a nice drop in.
This has the makings of a star for me. Me and Kyle are both probably inside 12.
Yeah, he's probably that 12 to 15. I'm right around 10. Just trying to not take anything for granted, make sure that I focus up. And we'll take a star friend there all day.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So Eric now 2 in a row, puts him at 3 under. Still 3 back of Kyle, and then you and Zach are both tied at 10 under par right now.
That's right. Zach looking like an international man of mystery there. Like, you can't figure me out. I love that.
You can't beat me.
Hole 13 has gotten through some changes in the last couple of years. We've got this tee now that's over to the left. Cart path OB on the right, and then tall grass and tree line OB on the left side. I think this plays closer to 410 to get to the basket because of the uphill. And really to get there, most people are going to have to throw something either really, really flat or even forced over a bit to get it all the way to the basket.
Which is scary because, like hole 12, you can't miss left.
Yep.
Hole 13, you cannot miss right. You
Absolutely.
have less than, I would say, 15 feet between the out of bounds and the basket. So anything that's short and right is going to be out of bounds. And
That's
you're
right.
in big, big trouble.
Most discs that catch grass on the right side of the cart path do not come back. So mine is safe up there. Big skip, but fine. Eric's is early into that small tree. Kyle has the best line of the bunch so far, flat and low. He's needing that sidewalk skip, which he gets.
Perfect.
That's going to put him right around circle's edge, which is a great shot.
Yeah, that's ideal. If you can just give yourself a putt, not straight at the out of bounds,
Yep.
that's what you're looking for every single time.
I would even take a putt straight at the out of bounds just to not be out of
It's
bounds.
better than being out of bounds.
Yes.
Zach with that enforcer again.
And he's trusting the stability on that thing. Going to end up right around where Kyle ended up. Eric's upshot. Trying to run that, but just catches the little branch. He'll be right there for par. This is about 50 feet or so, 45 maybe.
So when you're stepping up to this, are you thinking about the out of bounds behind it? Or
I'm
you're
just thinking.
trying to make that one, huh?
I'm just thinking I want to make it. I'm not going to give it a super aggressive straight line run, but something that's kind of lofty like that.
Okay.
If it goes, cool. If not, it's probably not going to go out of bounds.
Yeah. Just a little bit more loft, and it
Yep.
would have been cool.
Scared of it now, aren't you?
Zach went for a more straight line as he was closer. Just unfortunately missed it a little bit right.
Yep.
Kyle's in a great spot to attack.
Yeah, this is a big drive.
Nice birdie.
And that's
a
to make up
huge
for the one
shot.
he had earlier that hit cage chains out. It's good for that one to stick. Good to see someone get the two on this.
Yeah.
It's especially compared to GBO, more of those branches are grown in, so it's a tougher drive than it was just a few months ago.
Without a doubt, yeah. So everyone else is going to be cleaning up their pars here.
Yeah, and three's fine with me. I'm not super worried about getting the two there. I'd like it, but I don't think it's a must get by any means.
Yep. So you and Zach still tied at 10 under. Kyle is now approaching you guys, putting some distance between himself and Eric at 7 under, and Eric rounding out the card at 3 under. Hole 14, 766 feet, huge drive. Usually you're going to have a pretty good approach. The cart path on the left is out of bounds, but probably won't come into play for anyone, as well as the fence line along the right, which is more of the danger, on the second shot.
And then there's some OB by the green as well. So for these guys who are going to throw big forehands in, that's something that they're going to have to worry about. The branches on the left of the green are also grown down quite a bit, and so that makes that approach much more difficult than it was before.
Wow.
I want to say Kyle smooths out a forehand, but that's just mashed. Like that's such a good spot to land. That'll set him up for another forehand approach.
And I feel like off the tee here, there's kind of two different ways you can play this hole. You can either play it out wide into that fairway, or I've seen people take like the Heiser
Right.
line off to the right.
Heiser is going to test that white fence on the right side. I like the left side. I think it's more accessible, so I'm just throwing this getaway. Something that'll stand up a little bit, ride right, and then just kind of land flat.
So with it being 766, pretty downhill, are you looking for max distance off the tee, or are you more worried about just getting
Position.
in the open?
Position is super important here. Being on the left side is better than a little bit more tucked to the right. So I'm really happy with where I've landed. And
Zach-
these guys, wow.
Yikes.
Yeah, just a couple of crushes
That's
on
far.
forehands. And Eric's backhand wasn't bad either.
So you're going getaway, it looks like?
That's right. I'm not quite as far left as I want to be. So I need to really commit to the flat angle for this Heiser, and I just don't, plain and simple. That's going to filter out to the left and leave me, 70.
Yeah.
Not a great shot, but I'd rather do that than throw it too flat and find that out of bounds on the right. Par is never a bad score on hole 14.
No. And like you were talking about earlier, the tree there on the green is really grown in now. And it looks like that's what Eric is struggling with, trying to find a way to get through it, get around it, under it maybe.
Yeah, so he's going with that turnover, just hoping to beat those branches, and he beat the branches, but not the tree.
Not the big
It's just
branch.
one of those days for Eric. If you've played disc golf much, you've experienced this, where you just can't really catch much of a break. It's a low forehand from Kyle, looking for some skip. It's got a really nice skip. That's going to put him a little outside the circle, but not in a bad spot at all.
No. Zach looking to replicate that. And just give himself a nice, easy birdie here. I believe that's his stiletto.
It's a stiletto, that's right. Looking for that skip and actually gets a bit of an anti-skip.
Wow.
Still outside the circle in a safe spot, but had he gotten the skip that he should have gotten, I think he'd probably be 20.
Parked, yeah.
I'm doing my best to give this a nice run, but it's kind of hard from there to commit to something flat with that OB behind.
Yeah. So Eric luckily kicked off to the side of the tree, so he does have a relatively unobstructed putt here. Little uphill, and just a little bit short like he has been all day.
And like I said earlier, those flags are deceiving you. There's more wind than it looks like right now. There's 5 to 10, and from where we're putting, that's pretty much a headwind.
Oh, fuck, man.
And just low for Kyle. You can hear his frustration there.
Eric with the not super stoked, but kind of just take it par.
That's right. And Zackeriath actually got a little bit sick to his stomach right here, so we're just kind of tapping out.
That's true.
So that he can take a minute.
Yeah. Just go collect himself.
Yeah.
And you guys clean up.
This is another one of those holes like we talked about, hole 5 on the front, where we said, you know, if I walked up and you said you can take a 4 every time, but you'll never get a 3, but you'll also never get a 5, I'd probably take it.
Yeah.
So I'm just fine with the 3, with a 4 here, pardon me. And that's just going to be a bunch of 4s.
Yep. Zach had the look, but all things considered, I think he's probably pretty okay with the 4.
Yeah, I think so too.
So moving on with the star par. Scores are the same. Nobody makes any moves. Nobody's jumping. Nobody's falling. You and Zach are both still tied for the lead at 10 under par. Kyle is 3 back of you, and then 4 back of him is Eric McCabe. Hole 15, par 3, 426. Kind of an island, but it's big enough where...
Plays as a huge island. That's right. So both cart paths out of bounds, fairway on the right out of bounds, and then there is an OB line behind the basket, but quite a ways behind. You do have to land safe to move to that spot, otherwise you're going to a drop zone. And during the first round, I hit the loneliest, skinniest branch on the edge of the right tree that dropped me and rolled me into the OB fairway. So
brutal.
That was 2 to 4 really quickly. And so we're just all trying to play these big hyzers out around that tree, give ourselves a good look at birdie, and that's a great shot by Kyle, well
Good
inside the
little roll
circle.
too.
Yep.
This is another one of your Ballista Pros, correct?
That's right. A little bit straighter than the one I threw first round because I didn't want to mess with that stupid branch. You can pretty much count on a skip from this fairway on any angle, but that's longer than I wanted to throw it. So I'm about 40, 45 deep of the basket there.
Eric looks like he's cutting it a little bit more inside. But
Yeah, that's the
that'll
proper
work.
line. That's a
That'll
great
work.
shot.
Zach with that fusion enforcer again. Just gonna throw it out wide.
Yeah, similar width, good angle, but that's going to be a little bit long of where you want to land. Zach and I are going to be in similar spots. I'm maybe 8, 10 feet outside of him. And those branches are in my way, but there's just a little gap where I say, like, if I throw this straight, I can make this.
Got it.
So I feel good standing over this putt. Right in the middle.
Oh no!
And a little roll away. It's like the whole range of emotions
That
right
was
there.
just yeah.
I made it. Oh, I didn't make it, but it's fine. Oh, I didn't make it, but it's not fine.
Still rolling.
So yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate roll away to about 25 there.
Zach also had a little bit of that. I made it. Oh, I didn't make it. It's
Yeah.
not fine.
But he still puts in for his par, so pressure's on for me to stay tied here. After that roll away, I just want to put this away and move on to the next.
Mm-hmm. And it should be pointed out that we haven't even seen Kyle or Eric putt yet.
Yeah, their drives were good.
You and Zach have both putted twice,
Yeah,
which is not ideal.
their
but
drives were fantastic. And that's a good putt to put in. I feel good about a confident stroke on that, putting it in the middle.
Yep.
But we're both going to lose a stroke to these guys. I mean, unless some
Something
gale force
disastrous.
wind
Yeah.
picks up and Kyle misses. I think we're going to both lose one to him.
I'll go ahead and count this one for him right now.
Yeah.
That's easy. Wave into the crowd. So we've got 2 birdies for the tail end of the card, we'll call it.
That's right.
Eric and Kyle gaining strokes back on yourself and Zach. You guys are still in the lead.
But
now-
Kyle's Kyle's chasing
He's
us.
making a move. Are you starting to get a little bit worried?
Maybe not worried, but I'm aware that it's closer than it was before
He's on
because
your
he's
radar?
quietly putting together a good back nine.
Yeah.
And here's the maker and breaker of dreams, the island hole 16.
To put it lightly.
365 feet, and the pin is actually kind of where that bench is right now. It's back into the right, and so this hole actually plays even more difficult than it did before.
And there's no backstop.
No backstop, that's right. So if you're going to land the island, you have to land it softly.
Yes.
And so
Kyle actually surprised me here. I thought he would go sidearm.
it's
Every
shaped
day.
so well for a sidearm.
Yeah.
I watched him do this whole first round. He threw this fusion felon that's got a little bit of turn on its own, and that is picture perfect.
I guess that's why he didn't go sidearm.
Yeah,
you can
I
just
mean,
do that.
That's such a great spot to land. Now that the basket has moved to the right, the OB is no farther than 12 or 15 feet behind the basket.
And it's sloping down.
Exactly. This is a getaway for Eric, and just never quite had the height or the speed.
Yeah.
So he's going to be short. I'm throwing a biofusion getaway here. For the extra glide, I really like the glide on this disc for this shot. Little hyzer, let it stand up to flat. Just hope that it's long enough, and got the nice scoot onto the island. I'm
That's
feeling
one where
good.
you just, even if the angle looks good, you're still just on the tee pad holding your breath like, come on, come
That's
on,
exactly
come
what
on.
you're doing. It's a smooth shot for Zach. You can almost play for that skip off of the water with the forehand. A lot of times it does get that action.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 safe, and then Eric's going to be from the drop zone.
And when you're at the drop zone, that's all you can do. You're not running that putt.
No, ever.
There's no way.
So Zach kind of a half run, half layup here, and dude, no.
You could even hear him. He's like, that's a layup.
Yeah, that caught edge and is rolled out of bounds.
Oh, my.
I'm at the spot where I'm running this for sure. This is
Oh.
Kyle almost takes a dive there.
Getting in a battle with gravity.
Trying to play it off. I love it. I'm 25-30 and just scared.
Yeah.
Super scared, but safe.
At least you can blame
think you're
Kyle.
safe.
I can.
You got in my
Now
head.
that I know that happened, I was so distracted.
Gamesmanship, dude. He knew he had this. He knew he was running it.
And now you can finally see the flag, and I don't think there's a coincidence that on one of the toughest holes on the course, we finally have some wind that's in our face. Just so scary to run this putt. If you miss it all, you're more than likely in the water, especially if you airball. And Kyle's is just low and almost rolls back to his feet. He's
That's
just
a good miss because he didn't airball it.
Yes.
But also that's a miss 100% because the water is there.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Any other basket, Kyle makes that with his eyes closed. But
I
because
agree.
that water's there.
With a new placement, it's so intimidating to go for basically wherever you are on the island unless you're right under it.
Yeah.
So Zach with the unfortunate rollaway, he's going to be taking a bogey. Certainly not pleased with that effort. I'm just going to confirm that mine is in bounds
Just to
here.
clarify, mine's in, yeah? Yeah, buddy. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yours was kind of one of those half and half.
It was safe, but even if it's close, you want your card mates to see it because if they don't, it's in the rules. If someone questions it, like you could be considered out of bounds if you don't confirm that you're in bounds.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Got to be safe about that. So Zach with that rollaway is going to drop 1 stroke. So I'm going to be in the lead going into hole 17. I've got 1 over Kyle and 1 over Zach and 2 over Kyle. Moving to hole 17, 530 feet. And this hole has gotten so much more difficult as the trees have grown in.
Oh, yeah.
OB on the left side, OB on the fairway, and green on the right. OB long of the basket.
It's
And-
nasty.
And because the trees are grown in so much, this straight gap is so much smaller than it was during GBO.
Yeah. And like we saw on the green, the wind is kind of picking up a little bit. It's going to get in your head.
Yeah, this is playing a quarter stroke over par as well. Kyle hasn't gotten the turn that he
Calling
wanted,
for
but
the tree love.
boom.
Gets the tree
Roll
love.
into the
Wow.
fairway. You're going to like it.
Oh, it's still
And it still
rolling.
goes to even give him the hyzer over the OB, which is like
Yeah.
so good. I would take that all day.
Oh, gosh. If you could just set your disc there, you would.
It's a bit of a tailwind here, so I'm taking Maverick. Hoping for a bit of hyzer, stand up to flat, and even a bit of a ride to the right. And that is too much hyzer. You can see it tip over to the right.
It's wanting to.
Yeah, I thought it would move more than that, but I also just gave it too much hyzer.
Yeah.
So, first OB of the round, unfortunately.
Eric with the Lucid X trespass.
Hey,
A
that's a
mile.
crush. That is, oh my goodness, that's so far. That's the easiest upshot that you could imagine.
That is insane.
Yes.
So Zach not even really, well,
And he's asking for that to get over that tall grass. He's tested it and punched all the way through.
Right through it.
How that happened, I don't know, but
it happened.
fortunate break, and that's awesome to get back to the fairway there.
So what are you thinking here? Because this is like a straight, slight turn, right to left, windy type shot.
I'm just trying to get to the basket, to tell you the truth. Right side of the basket is a little bit better, so I throw my Maverick again. Just turn it a little too much, not even thinking about the OB on the right side. I land safe of that, but I just wanted to make sure I gave myself a chance.
Yeah.
Right, give myself an opportunity, and so I'm now about 40 feet right, putting for par. I've gone bogey free so far this round, trying to keep that streak alive.
Keep it up. Kyle kind of looks like he's lining up through the trees.
Yeah, he's going to take that kind of a straight or stable shot over the green, try and skip up to the basket.
Through the first gap.
In a little bit of trouble
That
focusing on
is-
it, but you can see that just went too flat and too low.
Yeah.
The green, the short grass on the green will help you skip off. If you hit that tall grass, you're not moving. And so
You're
that's
done.
a really unfortunate error for Kyle there. Zach from the middle of the fairway with a big tomahawk, and that's perfect.
Wow. Yeah, Danny and I, at least I'll let Danny speak for himself, but I did not know he was going overhand there. So I was just, all right, hopefully it's close. And
Yeah.
close it was.
Yeah,
That
that's-
is hard.
And that's a pressure shot. Knowing that I'm out of bounds, now putting for par, he's right there for a pretty easy birdie.
Yeah. And Zach, I don't know if the camera picked it up, but he was lining it up, and I said, you know what? I don't even need to mess with it. I'm just going to throw a justice.
And that's a good shot for
Wow.
Kyle. Nice recovery. And Eric with the drive of the group. This is so good. I can't even tell you
That's
how tough that is from the tee.
insane.
A little bit left for him, but 20 feet.
That's a putt.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so here's, I need this to feel like I maintain a tie, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is for 4. Felt good out of my hand, just not enough height, and yep, not pleased. Feel like I'm probably going into 18, 1 down now instead of tied.
Mm-hmm. Kyle dropping in the bogey.
Yeah, good
That's
up and
maybe a little
down.
outside.
Yeah, unforced error, but just an unlucky one as well. Once again, Emac just can't catch a break.
When it
Pretty good
rains,
chains
it
on the right side.
pours. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that, I was shocked to see
Wow.
that. Truly. I mean, you never bank on anyone missing those. And
No.
Zach, walking to the next tee, said he just didn't take his time.
Oh, wow. That is really surprising. He's definitely not going to be thrilled with that.
So the tension is mounting now. I guess
Yes.
the tension is properly mounted. I was up 1 going into this hole, thinking I was going to be down 1 going into 18. I missed my 40-footer. He misses about his 12-footer.
Yeah.
And now we're knotted up going to 18.
Wow. And Kyle's still there. 18 is a hole where a lot can happen. There's plenty
Definitely.
of danger to be found. There's plenty of... If you play it aggressive, you can 3 it. And if you make mistakes, you can easily get a 5, 6, or worse. So, par 4, 858 feet, plays every last little bit of that.
Yes.
You got to clear the water, and then it's straight uphill.
Yeah, and this is, we're starting to feel the wind again for the first time today a little bit stronger. And so this is such an intimidating drive, headwind over the water. If you make it to that second shelf that you can see here in just a moment, that's a great spot to approach the basket, but into this headwind, that's going to be a difficult task. Unless you are the
What if you
2010
just
world
do
champion.
that? Holy cow. That's Eric just saying, I want to get this round over with. I want to get out of here. Wow.
I mean, with less on the line, sure, that's still cool, but that's a crush drive.
That's so far.
This is low and turned too much for Zackeriath, just asking for it to get down. He's threw some grass at it in celebration.
Runs away. That's funny.
Because there is
especially-
water just past that tall grass you can see on the right side.
Yeah.
And all OB goes to the drop zone here, and the drop zone is you cannot get up and down today.
No.
Kyle throwing that Gold Line Ballista Pro, and it caught that tree and just nosed it up. And that is unfortunately OB, and Kyle's run at the win here is basically over
Pretty
at that
much
point.
barring disaster from you and Zach. I think that's going to kind of seal his fate. So you're going Ballista Pro.
Yeah, just trying to commit to the flat shot, and I just overturned it a bit, but I'll see Zach right there.
You guys are tied. You just want to play the hole the exact same, huh? Is that
Yeah,
it?
I figured we're tied. I might as well put us in the same spot.
So Kyle going Gladiator from the drop zone.
And that's crunched.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, your best bet from the drop zone is anything past those stakes. That's going to give you a look up at the basket.
Mm-hmm.
And the wind was pretty tough for that shot. And so I'm taking a Ballista Pro, attempting to just throw it on hyzer up the fairway to cover as much distance as possible to give myself an open look.
Are you just playing this for a 4 and
Yes.
say, Zach, if you're going to 3 it?
That's exactly what I'm doing. However, I threw a pretty bad shot right there. Not enough hyzer, and it turned into where I've got a little bit more technical third than I'd really like. And Zach's put a beautiful move on this, moving right.
That is not a bad shot.
No,
That is a very good shot.
that's probably 70 feet out, so
Yeah.
he's got a putt for the win if he wants it.
So are you thinking now? Oh, okay. Well, hang on.
Oh, Eric.
Jeez.
Wow. Honestly, honest to goodness, I don't think I've ever threed this hole. Ever. And Eric just did it into a headwind like it was
Yeah.
pretty easy.
And he's like 7 feet.
Yeah,
Jeez.
that's beautiful.
So jumping back to Zach's shot, are you thinking now, are you trying to throw yours in?
No.
Or are you still...
Just trying to put it close, especially from where I am. I've got that headwind and a little bit of left to right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to put the Cetus up high on the right and let it work to the left on its own. Make sure that it settles softly because this green does slope to the OB on the right.
Yeah. If you catch any sort of edge.
Yep, and I'm happy with the angle, and that's settled up nicely. I'd have liked for it to be a little tighter to the tree, but I'm fine with it. Zach surprised me here. He just laid up.
Wow. Yeah.
I
Didn't
thought he's for sure running that, trying to make it for the win.
I wonder if he got scared of the slope to the OB.
Oh, certainly. If you hit the basket and it doesn't stick, it's very easy for that disc to go out of bounds.
Oh.
Kyle running it and coming close to the OB but staying safe. That's such a difficult putt from up there, staring down at that basket.
Yeah. I know he's got this 25 close to circle's edge.
Yeah,
Back up the hill.
This is for 6.
Oh, he doesn't care.
And that's a good putt to make to finish the round. Hurts to end on a 6, but it's nice to make a good one.
Yeah. Make a good one at the end. You can
We're done.
leave.
He said, we're done.
It was hot and sticky out there. It was not as long as your round, the first round.
Yeah.
It was
No,
still
it
a
was
long,
not.
hot day.
It was still a long day. Eric with a great birdie to finish, and here I am for 4, and this is for the tie. I didn't know that at the time.
No?
Nope, but I know it now.
Nice round, Robert.
Yes.
So Zach and I are going to finish out with 58s there. Really happy with that score. We shot 59 the first day, 58 the second. So we got more golf.
Yes. But we didn't know that at the time.
No.
Did we tie?
So anyway, now
yes.
I know that we tied.
You did tie, Robert.
So since we've got a little bit of length already on this video, we got another video coming at you. Got our playoff, and you don't want to miss it.
No.
Tune back in, join myself, Robert McCall, and Anthony Van de Heuvel as we go through, I'll say, what is more than a 1-hole playoff.
Significantly more.
Less than an 18-hole playoff.
Yes.
More than a 1-hole playoff.
It's not a whole other round, but we tried.
If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do. We'll see you soon.